about one of the Levite concubines that they had that happened. It was a big civil war. The tribe of Benjamin was almost decimated after that, and that was the Battle of Gibeah. Okay, and that's in Judges 20. And this came about because there was a death. It was a Levite concubine that I could not anything else about that, but a Levite. Not only she was a Levite, which meant she was of the priests and stuff, and that's like no. But because they wouldn't, the Benjamite tribe refused to give up the person who committed the crime. I call it desecration because that was of the priests. This caused the big civil war instead. But the Benjamite tribe were great warriors. And they were real good with swords and stuff. But they didn't always jump up. They were good. They did in a few times. And this was spoken of in the blessing that Jacob gave his sons. And when he gave the blessing, he had said that there was 3 parts to the blessing, that they would be okay, write it down. Anyway, they had a 3-part blessing, and it had to do with how they were. They were of the tribes. They only had about 40,000 people, about 26,000. They were the smallest ones, but like I said, they were fierce warriors. You have 4 great people in the Bible who came from the tribe of Benjamin. Ehud, who delivered Israel from Moab, as stated.
Ehud.
Huh?
E-H-U-D.
In Judges 3:12-30. Also Saul, who was the first king of Israel, and Esther were from the tribe of Benjamin, who they delivered you, and that is in Esther, the book of Esther. And then, of course, the Apostle Paul, Benjamin. Also, what I found, and I didn't know, is that all of the apostles, with the exception of Judas, was from the tribe of Benjamin. So when they say 5, when they said 4 people and it ended up being 5, it really was more. That's about what I had, or what I figured out.
That was good. Allison?
Because I also downloaded a copy of
Talmud.
Hey, beautiful. You got a text message.
what I got for patient.
I'm not really Jacob's last blessing talking about he was a rat from his school. Want to do more research on that before I speak on it, so I'm not going to say nothing else.
Hey, beautiful.
sure you have plenty to add as we go. Ani, Anastasia, do you have anything to add about it? No? Next week? Okay, make sure you study. And you have something to offer. We're going to be looking for your revelation. Okay? High five. Good job. Good job. Ayana?
I got like what Dan said, the tribe of Benjamin was the sum of them all.
I see.
And I didn't say everything.
So,
And the people, the four great who came from the tribe of Benjamin is Ehud, Saul, Mordecai, and Esther. That's actually five, because I don't know why they put Mordecai and Esther as one person, but
because women weren't people.
Mordecai and Esther, and then also the Apostle Paul. I also have the tribe of Benjamin. Their warlike nature came out only in defense of their country, but also in bravery within their. Benjamin takes up an offering against other. Oh, well, they were against him, and yeah, they were all of it. So they had a like Joy said, civil war because his concubine was raped or something. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, but you get a little muddled in the.
Oh, yeah, because I read a story in Judges 20 about a concubine who was raped. They raped.
More than
And
that.
I'm thinking, like, was that the reason they had a war?
We'll go through that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Answer that.
I was like wondering if I know it was over a lady. I know it was the war was over a lady, but I wasn't sure if it was her that they
Started some fights in the club.
He's so crazy. He's so bad.
It says that all 11 tribes turned against the tribe of Benjamin and nearly annihilated them, their refusal to give up the perpetrators. Eventually, the tribes restored Benjamin's tribe, but greatly diminished. But his tribe was greatly diminished due to the war. After the country had reunited. So that's what I got.
Okay, that's good. And that.
I'm giving it to Allison, but Joanne did touch on a lot of it.
Yeah.
She got that
She didn't even sip of it.
She got something else in her mouth.
She had that motion, but
It's all right. It's over with.
She done swallowed it. Jacob, they dad identified him as one with tear and devolve, pray, and divided the spoil. Benjamin's tribe was also a humbling tribe. They didn't fight just to be fight. They were mostly on defense more than offense, I believe. Like Joanne said, there was other people in the Bible that came from that tribe. I won't go over those. But they did mention that it was, I think, 4 or 5 more of Jacob's children that were named after animals. Donkey, snake, deer.
Ox, I think one of them was an ox.
Yeah, they call him Benjamin's tribe
Mhm.
as compared to a wolf. Uh, they were fierce with their slingshots, and they were what you call when you get.
Ambidextrous.
They were
That's
ambidextrous.
how I know I'm a Benjamin.
That's why you have been. I thought about B with that left-handed stuff. B, y'all, not Yana, but my sister, all them my dad, them left-handed people. What else? Because Joanne went over a lot, and that concubine civil war was broken out because of horrific abuse and death of the unnamed Levite concubine. And with the Civil War, when I read about that Civil War, it can kind of, I don't say change my perspective of what's going on today, but it hurts my heart to hear it. It really does. But after reading, I was like, why I shouldn't be surprised. It hurt because I don't want to get numb and like, oh well, it happened in the Old Testament, but not happening. I don't want to get that. 11-1. That's not fair. But however, it is what it is. But I'm glad the other tribes did look to the Lord and say, you know, how you want me to work this out, Lord? And I'm glad they did. Obedience. And we always hear, you know, send Judah first. They send Judah first, and do we want it? They got their butts kicked that first time, that second time, and they asked the Lord, let me try them again. Yep, we're gonna hand them over to you this time. I was like, they were obedient. Bless God, but even after that, but they wasn't to me, wasn't a selfish tribe or a tribe that they weren't bullies. They wasn't like, you know, I'm gonna fight, but I'm gonna fight on a defensive term and not on the offensive. They was always on defense. But anyway, I'm not gonna prolong the time. What you say?
I said, usually, you know, I got someplace to go. But today I'm okay.
Okay, you're good. I'm good. No, I'm good. But because Joanne tackled a lot of it.
Did it in a timely fashion. So these are just the bullet points. The 12th and the youngest son of Rachel, as we said. The tribe of Benjamin maintained a steady presence throughout the scripture. So again, that's to be noted that throughout all of the scripture, the only throughout all of the Bible are Judah, yeah, girl, and the tribe of Benjamin. They received land that stretched from Bethel south to Jerusalem, and it's important to kind of know the tribe of Benjamin, where their allotment was, because it gives you perspective on why the way they responded, kind of their setup, their particular situation in the kingdom as it, and from dealing with the past tribes, how what a benefit. God really gave the people by allowing, there it is, what's beneath them, what's to the east and what's to the west.
Is that the map?
That's the map.
Okay.
So, and God never did anything without a purpose and without a cause. So it is for purpose. The placement that he put all of the tribes and that he gave them. So it stretched from Bethel south to Jerusalem and the Jordan River. And that's talked about in Joshua 18, 11 through 28. Let's go there. We're going to go there real quick. Joshua 18 and 11.
13.
and 11. And I'll just read that for the sake of time. I'm reading in the Voice version. And it says, the land assigned by Lot to the tribe of Judah in the south and the people of Joseph in the north. And who's the people of Joseph? The boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary went up to the northern side of Jericho, climbed westward through the hill country, and from there the boundary went southward in the direction of Luz, near Luz, that is Bethel. It went on the mountain of the south of Lower Beth Horon. What is Beth? House of Horon. So the western boundary turned southward from the mountain opposite to Kiriath Jearim, a town belonging to the people of Judah. So there we go again with Judah. This was the western boundary of their inheritance. The southern, and from there went west to the springs of Nephtoah. Now it's important to see all of the water that they're around. Okay. Then the boundary of the valley of Ben Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley of Rephaim. What is that?
The giants.
And it then went down to the valley of Hinnom, south of the slope of the and further at En Rogel. So when it talks about the valley of Rephaim, what was the companion piece of that? What was in the mountains? If there's a valley, that means so. What was in the mountains?
The other ones.
Which were?
The sand.
You got it? No. See? Then it curved in a northerly direction towards En Shemesh, and from there went to Jelol, which is the ascent of Adumim. Then down the stone of Bohan, Reuben's son, passing on to the north, it descended down to Araba. The boundary then went north of the slope of Beth Hogla and ended at the northern bay of the Dead Sea, where the Jordan empties into the sea, another body of water. This was the southern border. On the eastern side, the Jordan was the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, clan by clan, boundary by boundary. And the cities of the tribe of Benjamin were, in verse 28, it says, 14 cities with their surrounding villages was the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, clan by clan. So you remember you had clans, then, then broke down into families, okay? And so, even now, like in Israelite communities, even in the Hebrew Israelites, they still go tribes and they still go by clans. And then they go by camps as well. Like they'll say, you can ask them, oh, do you know so and so? They're Israelites as well. Well, where did they go? Oh, they attend such and such a place. Oh no, that's a different camp. That's their language. They still have that same language.
Right now?
Right now. That's a different camp. So
I was reading something in the research and it said they're in the tribe where the tribe was, and it says it's something about South Central. But I'm serious in the region. I'm like I'm thinking South Central. That's where the hood is. But when I read it, that's what I read. Like, South Central. Benjamites was from the hood. South Central Palestine. That's what it was. South Central Palestine.
So there was other territory except the eastern portion. The eastern portion was not as inhabitable as the rest of it, but it was a fertile land because of all. It wasn't a big portion as we saw on the map. It's 25 miles in length and 12 miles in width. So small, it was a smaller lot, but there were trade routes that ran through this territory. And so they served, the Benjaminites served as links of communication. They connected Judah and Israel, because remember, Judah and Israel were two separate entities. And a good way to remember that, the way that I remember that, is when King David finally took the throne, he was first only the king of Judah. He was not the king of Israel. Then later on, when they, where Saul belonged, then it came, right, and quit with the foolishness of David's child, Absalom. That's when he became the king of Judah and Israel. And so when you read in the scriptures and you see, oh, David, the king of Judah, recognize he wasn't all and the king of Israel. It happened over a period of time. So again, the Benjaminites were links of communication that were always in good standing. So this territory served as a middle ground or a frontier for all the two kingdoms about in the Benjaminite territory, despite any political strife with the two territories. So Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, and the allocation of land, that place for all of the 12 tribes of Israel and their lands and their people to actually come. You come there, and it was kind of like an embassy. You go to, you in a foreign land, if you get to the embassy, you say. So the Benjaminite territory served as an embassy for the different to do and not have to deal with any strife. That was a neutral zone. So therefore, just as in genocide, Joseph and his brothers as a bargaining tool or a broker or brokering tool of sorts throughout legacy, his territory. Remember in Genesis 48, what we're talking about here? Or we need to go and read it.
Let's go back.
Okay, let's go read it. So Genesis 48. This is Bible class. Genesis 48. I have 40.
Here's the blessings.
No. Hold on. All right. I need my real Bible. This is why I don't use this. Okay, it's not Genesis 48. It is actually Genesis 40. Let me get my real Bible. Thank you. I need to be able to see that. 40. This is a fresh Bible.
Yeah. Big print.
It's Genesis 42 and let's read 42. Here you go. Genesis 42. Somebody started and read it for me, please.
And sons to Egypt.
Yep.
Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why? He said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us may live and not die. And Joseph's 10th brother went down to buy corn in Egypt.
So stop right there. I am theatrical. So Jacob said, Child, I heard it's some corn. We got all this stuff going on, all these people to feed. Y'all go on down there and get us something to eat. Otherwise, in this mug. Okay, babe. And so his kid said, all right, I'll go.
Well, Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob said not with his brethren.
Why?
Well, he said,
Why?
he's a little brother. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother.
Big.
But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob said not with his brethren. For he said, least befall him.
What that
I
mean?
don't know. Let me see.
What verse is,
Verse 3. Verse 4. Verse 4.
Explanation.
where did you get this from?
Read it in another version.
I was trying to.
Oh, okay.
What verse was that?
I got the voice and then the New Living Translation either side. Verse 3 and 4.
3 and 4. So, but Joseph didn't send Joseph's brother Benjamin with others because he was afraid something might happen to him. So the sons of Egypt decided to go down. And
So why he Benjamin?
Because he was afraid something. He's the baby boy.
And he's the son of his right hand.
He prized possession.
And he's my favorite child.
Right.
I already lost my other favorite. And remember, it talks about, Joseph his favorite.
Because of the woman.
We know he was his favorite because he was a child born in his old age. He was a child born to Jacob and
To his favorite wife.
and to the.
It's
By that point, I don't think he had no favorite wife. But I think he was just like, these are women.
okay.
They come with drama. Or I don't think he had no favorite. No, because Rachel's tomb is not with him.
Right. And
Rachel
that's why
had a different tomb.
she on the side of the road.
We saw Rachel's tomb.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we went to Rachel's tomb.
Now, why? I thought they did that because they couldn't carry her.
No.
What?
No, let's go back. I think
But I
But they
want to
did
hear
bury
about seeing
Joseph
that tomb.
with Rachel.
How did they have it set up?
like what you doing, girl?
Well, she died in childbirth. She died
playing on the toilet.
giving birth to Benjamin. Buried her right there.
She was playing behind the curtain with her booty in it. It was so funny.
Yeah, they buried her there. But then they buried Jacob. When he died, they took him and buried him with her.
With who?
Well, with him.
They buried Leah
Right.
with Jacob. They
Not
buried Rachel.
She on
By the side of the road. Well, not by the
That's
side of the road.
because this is
Bible
Bible
study.
class. So Rachel died in childbirth, and she died with an attitude
Was she giving birth?
Yeah.
It's a long time to be.
to be
It was
wound.
difficult.
Yeah.
Come here, Abigail.
Genesis
Yeah.
49. 29. Well, that's where it starts.
What we looking for?
Genesis 49,
Yeah, on Friday.
31.
We don't eat on Friday.
That's Jacob. No, we find deal with Rachel. Rachel is 30 something. The death of Rachel. Okay, here it is.
Death of Rachel. Uh-oh.
When they,
Verse 5:16.
then they moved on from Bethel. Rachel began to give birth with great difficulty. Excuse me. As she was having great difficulty in childbirth, the midwife, don't be afraid, for you have another son. So now, if I was still writing the book, I would utilize this as an option to generationally passed on. Okay, but anyway. Okay. As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named him Ben-Ani, but his father named him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried. Anybody know what Ben-Ani means? My son. And Benjamin means son of my right. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Bethlehem. Over her tomb, Jacob set up a pillar, and to this day, that pillar marks Rachel's tomb, which is very true. Israel moved on again and found Migdal Elder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine. So that's what Reuben ever loved that. So then, if we go on further, we ended up in 42, and because I asked,
What did that mean?
right, what did that mean? Why did he let his other sons go? Take Benjamin. Why didn't he let Benjamin go? We discovered it was because he was afraid that something would happen to Benjamin because Benjamin's favorites that he had left, right? Now, the question that I have, even before we get through the story, and I want you to process as we're thinking is, okay, so point in 42, they're getting ready to go to they're getting ready to go to this stuff, so the food, to get some help and stuff like that. And so you're already going with an assignment. Isaac is already saying y'all can go, and if something happened to y'all, God be with you until we leave. But you can't have favored child because y'all done already went off with my other favorite child, and that didn't come back with him, and nobody can give me an explanation. So I'm not letting y'all have this one too. Okay, go ahead.
So Israel's sons were among those who went to buy, for the famine was in the land of Canaan also. Now Joseph was the governor of the land, the one who sold grain to all people. So when Joseph's brother bowed down to him with their faces to the ground, as soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger. Where do you come from? He asked. From the land of Canaan, they replied, to buy food. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they said him. Then he remembered his dreams about them and said to them, you are spies. You have come to see where our land is unprotected. No, my lord, they answered. Your servants have come to buy food. We are all the sons of one man. Your servants are honest men, not spies. No, he said to them, you have come to see where our land is unprotected. But they replied, your servants were 12 brothers, the sons of one man, Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and the one is no more. Joseph said to them, it is just as I told you. And this is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of your numbers to get your brother.
Why he do that?
Put them through something. I don't know. I just want to say, just
Put them through something for what purpose?
That's like collateral. He was using, if you don't bring if my little brother don't come back, y'all don't go back.
And then he also did because he wanted to see the whole family, you know.
If
He would have gave them the grain, and they would have went on their way.
Right.
And a lot of time would have passed until the food ran out, and then he probably would have never saw the little brother because.
I believe he knew that them boys did something to Joseph. I just don't. What in reading, when they came back and told him you know, this is the jacket, and you know, and this is his blood and stuff.
But he couldn't prove it.
Jacob is like, yeah, right. And I got a bridge for you. It just seemed like that was his attitude. He was upset and he tore his clothes and, you know, ashes and the whole 9 yards. He did all of that. I'm gonna be quiet because I know you're gonna ask me for scripture in a minute, and I don't have it out the top of my head. That's what
It was purpose. That's the bottom line. It was a purpose because again, we see that
Okay.
huh?
Give him a little taste of what he experienced.
Not only that, but he was used as an opportunity for the other brothers, different heart.
Okay.
Because the first time they did not do well, and their hearts were jacked up. Appeared that this point had passed, and now it's like, where you located now? What kind of people are you now?
Okay.
And so before I can be, I need to see who you are. So it wasn't like he was saying
anything from this.
Wasn't like he was
previous
saying,
lesson.
I remember who you are. I know what you did. And I don't make you. It wasn't like that. It was the whole, because remember, he didn't have that type of heart.
Yeah.
Joseph's heart was obviously such that he was, because God at the end of it, he was able to say, what you all meant for evil, God meant for good.
Okay, but also didn't pick up on, he kind of let it slip when they came and he was questioning them. Like,
You would think they would
didn't pick up
recognize
on the
him.
fact, how he know this?
His voice, his sound, his
You know this. They
Like 17. At this point, he's a grown old man.
Okay.
You look the same, well, you do.
You know, saying the
40 years
didn't
later,
pick
all of a
up
sudden.
on.
And they didn't know him as a man. They knew him as to talk too much, immature.
Plus, now because he's been living in Egypt, so he had eye makeup and you know the whole 9 yards.
You got a whole picture in your head. You in your mind, he looked like King Tut.
Looking like
He got the braids, you know. He got the Rick James braids
I don't
and
think that's
stuff.
how that goes.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's how it works at all.
So they had to get their heart right.
They had to,
Anyhow,
their
they
heart
didn't
had
know.
to be
They
tested.
had to be, okay.
Because the level of blessing that he had to offer them, they needed to be in a position to be able to receive. And what scripture in the New Testament speaks to that? Yeah, give me a scripture that in the New Testament talks about that has that same intent.
Oh, and the New Testament.
About what that would explain what Joseph did in a nutshell. Your hands
Scripture.
don't cast.
Oh, your Proverbs 1. Yeah.
So he needed to see where they were located to see if treated well, because he was in a position of not only prominence, but he was in a position that was needed. You know, not to display righteous character or any type of character. I don't think he would have let him starve. But what did he end up doing? He ended up not whole family and everything that came with the family, but he moved them out of the place of famine into the place of safety. So he couldn't have done that. There was still low lives that was sleeping with your daddy's concubines and, you know, killing folk and, you know what I mean? Remember all of the brothers that we've gone through and their lives, lifestyles, personalities, characters. All of these people are standing in front of him. All of those tribes are the ones that he's looking at now. And he's like, these are my brothers. So he has the fact that these are my brothers, still the same ones that put me in a position like that God used to lead to this. But the process that led to this was very hard. But I do have a position now that requires me a level of responsibility and compassion because not just an oath of honor that I've taken in receiving this from God, because that position comes from the Lord, doesn't come from man. So he had those things, and the way that he allowed not only himself to process what God was allowing him to do, but allowed them to go through the process of their character was through what he put them through.
Would that not also go with could we also use the scripture and talking about last week in sowing, because he was sowing seeds about sowing, when you put seeds out and the thorns choke them up, and
The different types of ground,
you need to sow seeds in good ground used for that also. I mean, as a
And what would be the seed and what would be the soil?
him seeds as far as giving them favor and grace.
So the favor and grace is the seed.
Yeah,
And who's the soil?
they're the soil.
Okay.
Benjamin would be
I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
Okay.
We can work that out as we get.
Oh wait, another way.
Even the soil works though. We still
Okay.
got that. So even with that though, the one thing that we have to recognize in scripture, we get caught up in the personality and we forget the sovereignty of God. So in spite of what actions, all that kind of stuff was, despite what they ever said or did, responded, whatever, when it was all the processes took place, because in the end, he knew he made a promise to Abraham to make many nations out of this one. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. The seed of Israel would be the nation of Israel, would be the chosen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So God knew, I made a promise, I have a plan. So I am working all of these little weavings, as it were, to work out my plan. Only God is just even trying to follow it in your own logic, let alone have to create it.
Because all of those things had to be in order for his plan.
Absolutely. So don't get caught up in the personality. Get caught up in the sovereignty of God and the brilliance of our God to make all of these, so that when it's all said and done, all of it, and people talk about the Bible being a great love story about God's love for his people. Aspect of scripture, you see people messing up and God finding God's plan of redemption to not to himself. Isn't that beautiful? But how he restores them back to each other. And so that's something that we have to take into account in our own present lives, and not just in the scripture, that we are a part of the love story, that everything that he has done in our lives and for our lives has been to, first of all, capture our hearts and restore back to the aspects of our lives and relationships, families, heritage, bloodlines, etc., that have been breached, to bring restoration back.
Every one of the tribes have been.
A lot of them, yeah, even the good ones have had some evil.
Okay, they've had good in them, but they've had a lot of crazy. God still, his promise, his covenant with Abraham.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It makes you think a whole lot different when you read these tribes.
Yeah.
Your perspective, like.
So again, as was said, therefore, just as in the Genesis 32, I believe it was, where we just read, Benjamin was used by Joseph and his brothers as the bargainer too. He was a brokering pawn throughout legacy, his territory, his land, his land allotment would be the same thing. So the same way that they said, if you don't bring it back, I ain't gonna. That's the same way, in that same sense that their territory was used as a brokering tool for the tribes. To the north and the south was the tribe of the Benjaminite tribe, because they was a bipartisan tribe, as it was. North, and that's in Joshua 16, 1 through 10. To the south was Judah, or what's also called the tribe of David, and we view the tribe of Benjamin, the Benjaminites were almost wiped out by the Civil War, as we spoke of earlier, and perpetuated the dissension. So even though they were a bipartisan land, it was different, of course. Supposed to be true. The fights or intertribal fights always resulted in one side gaining and then a loss of ground. Lesson in that to be, we might be 12 different nations and have different clans within the nation. Anytime you have infighting, one might, the other one might gain territory, and then you start losing. What's the lesson in that?
That you have to be united in order
Your power is in your unity. Number one.
flourish.
Absolutely. And infighting, even if you win, you lose spiritual ground.
We're together than we are apart.
Absolutely.
But each one of us has a part.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about last week. Without the eye,
Absolutely.
you know, or the ear.
Try it. Let me see how that
One
works.
big ear.
And
I think I could like that.
you funny. Because you want you gonna get your back.
I'm gonna hear everything.
God is gonna give you that back. I guarantee it. Even if you were ground, and we talked about that again when we talked about that fear thing, the reason why it's important to have all. So Benjamin's cities were major cities located in the Jordan Valley. Example being Jericho. It was in approximately 1 mile or 10 acres. It was David's hiding place while he was being hunted, but it was called Jeshurun, Samuel 23:19. Known for its many springs. There were 5 springs there, and it provided constant outputting in cultural region. Remember, it wasn't but this big.
Yeah.
But it was a very important place. So it was all called the City of Palms as because it had a major production outputting of dates, which I can say is absolutely true. Lots of dates. Also plentiful were bananas, citrus fruits, flowers, and winter vegetables. What I didn't know when I went to Israel was that the majority of the citrus in the United States come from Israel. And they eat very little of citrus fruits because that's their major export off of us. Is by selling us they citrus. So, but that's a plentiful region where again bananas, citrus fruits, flowers, and what I thought was very odd. The whole time I was there, you know, I ate a lot in Israel. I never saw one banana, and that again, I eat a banana a day. Never saw a banana in Israel. And we stayed a lot of olive oil, a lot of olives, a lot of dates. No, none of that. They did a lot of apples, a lot of pears. They make fresh orange juice every day. But other than that, you didn't just see oranges, you know, because we would take fruit, you know, to eat throughout the day on, you know, from. There was never just citrus fruit sitting out there to eat. It was citrus fruit to make your juice. But other than that, they didn't do the citrus fruits. No, but I didn't really take it. It was apples, pears, and then this other fruit that I don't know what it was. It looked like an taste of a nectarine, kind of, but it didn't have the same pit. It had apples, seeds type of thing. I don't. But it was good. So Jericho served as a gateway city located in the height above the mountains. Throughout other major cities. If you could take Jericho, if you could destroy Jericho, then you could then Judah was imminent. So Jericho was extremely important in keeping strong, because if you destroy Jericho,
It's so big.
Judah was huge. So remember, Jericho was a spot that God instructed Joshua to use as an entry point in Joshua 6:1-27. So again, this particular Benjaminite site was very important. And so even though the tribe was small, it still held great importance to the land and to the people. And again, being the smallest tribe, but the greatest of the tribes being Judah, the least of the tribe being the Benjaminites, they were the only two significant tribes throughout the whole Bible. So again, what's to that?
You mean the last?
It's a bunch of scriptures that speak to that. Pick one.
Greatest.
Uh-huh.
I know it's one of Revelation.
Okay, well, let's think on it. And then when it comes to you, write it down and remember at the end. Okay, so another that everybody was talking about, let's turn down. We're going to do that real quick. Judges 19, verse 1. And I'll read it for the sake of time. I actually want to read it in the voice because that's what I was reading it in at home, and it was quite nice. It's a voice version. And it said,
Oh man. Okay, here we go.
you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. During this period, there was no king in Israel. I think it starts out saying that because there wasn't no king in Israel prior to
They were
that.
unruly.
And what does that mean?
Everybody's law was their law. That's what I'm doing, and what you want to do, what you're doing, and if it conflicts with me, then we're going to,
The end of Judges says it best. It says, did right in his own eyes. So basically, it was, hey, laissez-faire. You think it's right? Do it. There was no standards. Okay. And so, but again, the question is, during this period, there was no king in Israel. Why is that stated? Why did that need to be said?
what time is this? This is before.
Judges 19. Yeah, this is well before Saul.
Oh, because it's Judges, right? Well, again, that's a surprise of the lack of leadership.
Turn to Deuteronomy 17. Because this is Bible study. Deuteronomy 17, 15, 14.
14.
Deuteronomy 17, 14.
Uh-huh.
And have taken possession possession of it and settle in it. And you say, let us set a king over us like all the nations around. Be sure to appoint over you a king the Lord your God chooses. He must be from among your fellow Israelites. Do not place a foreigner over your life, one who is not an Israelite. King, moreover, must not acquire great numbers of horses. I was reading. For himself, or make the people return to Egypt to get more of them, for the Lord has told you. You are not to go back. Excuse me.
Bless you.
He must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray. Ounce of silver and gold. Well, that don't leave many. Most of the kings.
That's why most of the kings were said. And the next king, the next king was
Not David, not Solomon, not.
God didn't have a problem with them having wealth. They were supposed to amass it unto themselves.
Right.
They was getting greedy. They would get greedy.
Supposed to be having all these foreigners. Excuse me, not.
Keep reading.
When he takes the throne of his kingdom, he is to write for himself on a scroll a copy of this law, taken of the Levitical. It is to be with him, and he is to read it all the days of his life, so that he may learn to revere the Lord and follow carefully all the words of this law and these decrees. Which means, really, you need to keep this with you, forgetful.
Keep reading.
And not consider himself better than his fellow Israel. Turn to the left. Nah, I didn't do that. Then he is, and his descendants will reign a long time over his kingdom in Israel. Reign long.
Okay, now turn to 1 Samuel 8 and 7. Because this is Bible. 8 and 7. Well, let's do
8 and 7.
8 and 3.
But his sons did not follow his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain and accepted perverted justice. Yes, indeed. So all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah. You are old and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint a king to lead us, such as all the others. They said, give us a king to lead us. This displeased Samuel. So he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord told him, listen to all the people. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me.
Okay, so how is it that they rejected God?
Because they wanted a king, and he was already their king.
He was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be their king, and they were supposed to be following
the law of God.
Law of God, which Moses wrote down, and they was just going to do whatever they wanted to do.
Okay, flip 1 Samuel 12 and 12.
Because
this is
Bible study.
no. Why didn't they be?
Because they had the king. They had the
God was their king. They had a king.
Supposed to be set apart.
12 and 12.
They were set apart anyway.
12 and 12.
But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Ammonites, was moving against you, you said to me, over us. Even though the Lord your God was your
Your
king.
king.
Now here is the king you have chosen, the one you asked for. See,
What you
If
you fear the Lord and serve and obey him and do not rebel against his commands. And if both you and the king who reigns over you follow the Lord your God, good. But if you do not obey the Lord and if you rebel against his commands, his hand will be against you as it was against your ancestors.
so, he's basically saying if you fear them, rather y'all gonna be jacked up. But clearly that wasn't gonna be the case because if they fear God over man, they would have asked for a king.
And then what, if you do it, it's yours. You gotta deal with it.
Hands off, it's on you, Boosie. So now flip back to Judges 19. Oh, I was supposed to be reading in the voice version. During this period, when there was no king in Israel, so the purpose of them saying they were behind them, I was supposed to be your king, but y'all doing what y'all want to do. Y'all done made yourself, put yourself on the throne. And so y'all reigning and y'all, I ain't no in this. A certain Levite from the remote part of the hill country of Ephraim had a mistress from Bethel in Judah. A certain Levite, because remember the Levites did not have their own allotment. They had cities within the different allotments. And so he was from the country of Ephraim, but he had a mistress that was from Bethlehem in Judah. Whole nother conversation. But she was unfaithful to him, to her father in Bethlehem in Judah, and was away from the Levites for 4 months. So the reason why, again, she was he was married to a concubine. The mistress is because she was a low-level wife. She wasn't an acceptable mate. She wasn't suitable. And this was again, so was his wife. It was somebody that he chose to take into himself that was not acceptable for him to do. Verse 2. But she was unfaithful to him and returned home to her father in Bethlehem, Judah, and was away from the Levite for 4 months. For 4 months. So again, we don't know because scripture doesn't really tell us if she was unfaithful because of desertion, because she deserted him and left him, which was a no. We don't know because both are considered the same in scripture. Then he went after her to speak kindly with her and with him. He brought his servant and 2 donkeys with him. So he brought a little caravan. When the Levite reached her father's house, the woman's father saw him and went joyfully out to welcome him and brought. Her father made him stay for 3 days. So the Levites stayed there eating and drinking. On the 4th day, they got up early to prepare. What's your hurry? Have something to eat, build up your strength, and then you can go. So the 2 men ate and drank. The woman's father said, Levi got up to go. His mistress's father kept urging him to stay. So at last he did. Part of this too, that with the whole, they don't honor her as a wife because it was an illegitimate covenant. Okay. On the 5th. Hurry, have something to eat, build up your strength this morning, wait and leave this afternoon. So the 2 men sat eating and drinking. Clearly this Levite was not.
What was the whole point of the dad keep trying to get him to stay?
I don't know. When the Levite, his mistress, and go, the woman's father said, look, it's almost evening, the day is almost gone. Why don't you stay another night and enjoy yourself? Night. He gathered them and they set out. They reached the city of the Jebusites, the city we call Jerusalem, riding on the donkey. They was riding through Jerusalem, but they called it the city of the Jebusites.
So they took over. It was.
Yeah, they were near the city of the Jebusites. The day was almost done. The servant said, let's spend the night here in the city of the Jebusites. The Levite said, stop here, who are not of Israel, but will travel to Gibeah. Let's see if we can reach one of those towns or spend the night at Gibeah. So they traveled on. The sun set as they were at Gibeah, which belongs to the tribe of Benjamin, and the night, and went to sit in the city square. Yet no one invited the Levite and his party home to spend the night, as was the social custom in a significant mark of honor. Likewise, in hospitality is a significant. After evening fell, an old man coming in from his work in the fields noticed them. He was not of the people of Benjamin, but a man of Ephraim who was living in Gibeah. That sound familiar? He was a man that was from the same place that this Levite was from.
Okay.
Okay? The old man.
Was she wearing a certain clothing that made her I'm a loose woman?
She wasn't necessarily a loose woman. We don't know if she was a loose woman.
So we don't even know if they say this.
Calm down. That just means she was a lower class of woman. It's coming. Calm down.
But wait a minute. What about when you in my version, King James, she went to go 4 months.
No, she went home. She went to her father's house. That means she's active shame.
Okay.
So we don't know if she actually left to be immoral sexually or if she left and deserted her husband. Or that gave them women an opportunity to leave their husband. You can't divorce your husband. Okay. So he saw them sitting there in the square. Where are you going and where are you from? He said. The Levite said, we are traveling from Bethlehem in Judah to the far parts of. I went to Bethlehem in Judah and I'm returning to my home. No one has yet offered us hospitality. We, your servants, have straw and food for the donkeys, and we have bread and wine enough for me, my mistress, and my young servant. We don't require anything else. The old man said, peace be with you. I will take care of everything you need, but do not spend the night in the square. And somebody would say, child, it's be at peace. Come on home with me. I'm gonna take care of you. You just can't stay here. Like in the square. Okay.
But in the square, open place.
Streets come out in.
So verse 21, took them home and fed their donkeys. They washed the dust off the robe from their feet, ate and drank. While they were eating and drinking, the evil assembly surrounded the house and began beating on the door. They called to the owner, and the men of the city said, bring out your guest, the man whom you have welcomed into your house. Have sexual relations with him. With him.
I know that's what I said. I read it.
Yeah. The old man pleading with them said, into the tribe, welcome into my care. I have a virgin daughter, and this man has a mistress. I will bring them out so you can do whatever, but don't with your wickedness. The man, because remember, clearly we weren't worth nothing to him. The man wouldn't listen. At last, the Levites outside. They raped her repeatedly and abused her all night long until the sun came up, when they left her alone. Then went to the house where her master had spent the night. So this dude, her husband, was in the house, sleeping in the doorway.
Come back in.
Okay. She collapsed and lay there as the sun rose in the sky. Her master at last went to the door to prepare to go on his way. He was going to leave her. There was his mistress lying near the doorway. Okay. The Levite said, get up. It's time for us to go. But she could not answer him. He put her body and set out for home. When he reached his house, he went in and found a knife. Then holding her cut her body to pieces, cut her limb from limb, and these he sent throughout Israel. And as the pieces were received, anyone who saw this horrible display said that this outrage has ever happened in Israel since we came up from the land of Egypt. Think about it. weigh it carefully and let us decide what to do.
Needed to have their butts kicked.
Now, why would he cut it up though? He wasn't upset because he let it happen.
He said
That was his property. Certainly, the outrage in Israel, the outrage the Israelites are reacting to is the Levites' brutal dismemberment. Why would someone slaughter a woman and send her parts across the country? What is the meaning behind this heinous crime? Once they hear the Levite story of his attack by the Benjaminites, the community of Israel supports the Levites and holds Benjamin accountable for the Gideon men's wickedness and their actions. When all the tribes come to the aid of the Levite, we see an Israel that is united against Benjamin. This story lays the groundwork for our understanding of relations between the tribes. Israel enters the monarchical period. Saul, the first king, and the Benjaminite will abandon the laws of God and will be replaced by David from Judah. So back to Judges 19. Again, married to a concubine, a lower status wife. 2, she was unfaithful either by desertion or sex. 3, remember, a woman could not divorce men. The Levites' insistence on getting to Gibeah was due to his desire not to stay, which were not Israelites. The irony is that his own people's treatment was far worse than that of foreigners. Hospitality. So again, as a Levite, he wasn't serving God nowhere. No. Okay. This lets you know what was going on, what the culture was. Even the holiest was a priest up here acting
the food.
Hospitality was essential to their culture, and a lack of it was seen. This speaks to the degradation more is seen in this recountment of the morality, the immorality, and the cultural a lack of compassion in the culture was the result of lawlessness. Where there are no boundaries or godly standard, there is an inevitability of lawlessness that culture, society, and earth. Yep.
So he just cut her. What? He just cut her up alive. She was dead. She was dead.
She wasn't dead.
He just put her on the dump.
She couldn't talk. She was so badly beaten up that she was probably, close to death. But he was just. They said he held her down and cut up in 12 pieces. You ain't gotta hold nobody down that ain't dead.
What on earth?
Custom will be shown to every stranger. Turn to Hebrews 13 and 2, because this is
and God still shows. Do not forget to show hospitality. By doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing.
5 and 10.
Okay.
First one.
1 Timothy 5 and 10.
That not also apply to came to him and told him, and Sarah told him that he was going to have a child. He didn't necessarily know who they is in the Bible, that they were strangers. However, it turned out that one of them was God. So, and Abraham had laid out a spread to come on, water. He directed Sarah to make bread. Would that not be like the same thing?
Entertaining angels angels.
No.
It could be you're entertaining the person who is acting as about this person that you are in fellowship with, that you are saying, no, I don't want to be hospitable to them. It may be something in them that has something from God for you. And saying, be careful about how you are inhospitable and inhumane to people, because it might be the same person you turn in a way that as your blessing. 5:10. She must be well. She has brought up her children well. She has been kind to strangers and served other believers humbly. She has helped those been ready to do good. The younger widows should not be on the list. What it's talking about? What is this talking about?
People who need help from church.
A widow who's put on a list for support needs to be such and such, such, such. And the only way a true widow is if she is hospitable.
And over 60 is just like kick you to the curb.
If you're under 60,
I know. But
that means
it's over 60.
you can find another man. That's what it's basically saying. If you're under 60, you can find another man. You don't need our help.
And if you over 60,
You probably won't go find somebody.
God can produce anything.
That was the concept. Titus 2.
Wow.
What does that say?
Teach the older men to be temporal, with self-control and sound in faith, in love, and endurance.
Keep going.
Likewise, teach the older women to be relevant in their way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good. Then they can train the young, their husbands and children to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, and to be kind, and to be subject to their, when laying the word of God. Similarly, encourage the young men to be self-controlled and examine what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned